Welcome to the Off the Road Again podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Ross.
And I'm Daniel with Blk Elk.
Yeah, for Blk Elk. See, and that's the part I always forget. I stumble on people. This is our podcast about anything and everything off-road. We're always socially distanced. It's the only way we've ever done the show before it was a thing. Before socially distanced was a term, it's how we did the podcast. As always, I'm Kansas City, Ross in the Northeast, and Daniel's in Arkansas?
Yep, Northwest Arkansas. Fayetteville to be exact.
See, and that's like, when you say Northwest Arkansas, I'm like, Rogers, Bentonville, Fayetteville.
Yeah, yep, that's it.
Okay, I was like, that's about it, right?
Itself. Yeah.
That is very far northwest, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're almost Missouri.
It's a different vibe for sure than the rest of Arkansas. If you've been here, you know what I'm talking about.
100%.
Noted.
I've been down there a couple times and had a blast around Bentonville, Rogers area, Beaver Lake, and all that stuff. Russ, quick updates on the GX.
Yes.
Last show, we did determine you are going to keep it.
Yes. Now that the Lexus has been confirmed to stay, there will be some upgrades along the way. Won't say much else, but some things are coming, and some things might be in the works. So,
have you been kicking the running boards to dent them more so your spouse was not like looking at them so you can replace them?
The right one. So the right running board, I crunched really hard on a rock up in Massachusetts. Like the truck came down and I thought I had enough clearance and it just sat on it and just pinched it up.
Is that why you never take photos of the right side?
Well, also it takes more time to walk around to the right side when time is limited. No, I also just like driver's side pictures because 9 times out of 10, that's the side of the vehicle you go to.
Right.
So
I'm sorry, you said you crunched the right side. I'm just not realizing I've never seen the passenger side of this truck.
Oh, there's definitely some out there, but the right side running board is fairly crunched, and I massaged it back into place the best that I could, and it took for a few days and has since gone back to its crunched form. So, that's one of the things that we'll have a conversation about in the future. But yeah,
I found it.
That's my whole.
I found the right side
on the truck.
The right side picture does exist.
So that picture is about a month before the running board got crunched.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think it was already a little smushed. But yeah, I don't know. Truck's good. I've been driving it a bunch, and yeah, I have nothing else to report.
Oh, I know what I can talk about. I'm dumb. Sorry. I didn't even update the notes with my correct update. So part of my update is we have a potential trip in the spring. It is out west. The GX is too far away because it's like 6 days total just to drive it out there and drive it back. Yep. Within the trip wedged between that. And so while Ross would enjoy that much time in the Lexus, Ross's back would not enjoy that much time in the Lexus.
I think
or jobs.
My job and my baby would probably be a little underwhelmed with that much time.
You think your back would be okay?
I think that, yes, the Lexus is actually pretty comfy. And that's like saying sky blue,
Right.
But it's, I don't know. I think I did 7 hours in it once, and it was pretty fun. So
7 hours is not 3 days.
What's another 26? Right? Yeah. So, it's for the record, it is. Oh, come on, internet! I was trying to get a Google Maps going. It is 2170 door to door from me to Moab.
Okay.
How many hours?
I don't know. It suggested a flight at first, so I kind of just clicked away.
That's my favorite. I'm always like, thanks a lot, Max. Like I don't need
33 hours.
33?
Yeah.
Okay. That's not too bad for Blk Elk, honestly.
Road warrior status.
We'll get into that very shortly.
Yeah, right.
So with this potential trip though, where we were then like, all right, the Suburban is the only other thing that really kind of makes sense, as that it sits a little higher. But one of the stipulations on this potential trip is it's in Utah, so obviously there's going to be rocks involved. But the term rock crawling was used even, which gave me some hesitance because the Suburban is unarmored. We lack metal protection underneath. So I got underneath to like, actually what I was like, how bad is it underneath? Like, because we always talk about the Nissan Frontier, right? The Frontier, the frame is the lowest thing that comes down and all the soft bits are above it. So like if for the audio listener, I've got a picture of the undercarriage of the Suburban up. The left side of the image, this is the plastic skid plate that hangs down from the front and kind of curls underneath the oil pan. So we would have to replace that. And then this stretch here, obviously exhaust moving through. And I think this is transmission.
It looks like a
transmission cooling lines. So we would want to span that as well. And then the only other spot where it looks to be any kind of vulnerable underneath would then be the fuel tank on the driver's side.
Which is level with the frame or even...
It's pretty close to level with the frame. So
Eek.
It seems possible with some strategically placed metal to get close enough. What has hampered me in this thought process is then that front air dam is still really low. I'm just going to have to cut all of that off on the front.
Air dam, air saw. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Let me introduce you to my grinder.
Actually, I don't know if you
grinder.
Say that.
Angle grinder, Ross. Angle grinder. Calm down. Actually, here I got a side-on shot that'll help us with this.
Been watching too much Letterkenny.
Yes, you have. Okay, so again, for the audio listener, I apologize, and I say audio listener, which is redundant. Basically, you can come in on the front bumper and go right at the edge of that black line there, buy yourself 3 inches. You could do some it has some like plastic reinforcement underneath, but you could do some metal reinforcement behind it that would then protect that lower lip. And pretty much there's nothing else that's really hanging low there. Obviously running boards, we would want to replace with some kind of slider. And then you could actually come back to the bumper here and just trim this kink off. And then the black shadow here is actually the spare, which I would either put in or up.
Yeah. You have enough space.
Then,
it goes in.
Huh?
You have enough space in there. It goes in.
Exactly. Well, I remember sleeping arrangement, so maybe I'm sleeping inside. So maybe it goes to the top. Okay. And I'm tall, so I need all the space I can get in this Suburban. And then obviously then at the back, the only thing you have to worry about is the exhaust pipe. And if you ding the exhaust pipe, that's easily replaceable. Like just cut some tubes. So all of that is kind of a thought process. And I did take the Suburban out again. I went out with the kids and just had another trip with them. We did it a little different this time. We kind of went back to the same location but I let my oldest drive a lot this time. I let him do some steering on. First of all, I put him on the interstate for the first time, which was hilarious because I did it in the spot where the speed limit's 75. So he's driven the fastest he's ever driven now. And talking through small adjustments. And then there was actually I have a video clip because he's been doing this thing that's been driving me nuts in traffic. I'm waiting for it to load. And so he doesn't realize he's doing this, but he's consistently pulling to the right. Like the truck is aligned. It does not. But if you look in this video, how he started with both wheels centered on the wood, and now towards the end of it, we've kind of leaned to the right a little bit. So it was great because I was able to use this video with him to be like, see? And he was like, got it. And so he's gotten a little better since then. I did let him drive on the gravel quite a bit. I let him drive through a couple of fords with some water. And then I did. Yeah. Well, it's a creek. It's 6 inches.
Drove through a Ranger.
Yeah, I was thinking forward excursions and expeditions.
It was an actual creek. Come on, I got artsy with my photos, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I have a cough coming. Where's my...
Beautiful. Oh, it's gorgeous.
How much does that thing weigh? Do you know?
I think it's like 56, 58.
Okay. I'm just curious.
It's between like 56 and 59. I know you live in the 9,000 pound world, so
yeah. No, I've always wondered how much they weigh. So
no, it's not as bad as we think it is. I think it's like 53 to 59. Yeah.
4-wheel drive Premier's 58.
Yeah. And so the leveling kit didn't add much weight, but if we start slapping metal on the bottom of it, this should have been a picture I used. You can see the clearance better. So yeah, I took the kids back out. The hilarious part of that is after that trip, what day was that? I think we did that on a Saturday, and Sunday morning, my youngest two, who are 8 and 4.5, got up and were like, "Where are we going? We're going again, right? What are we doing today?" We're not doing anything today. I just spent so many hours with you guys in the car yesterday. It was great. You got tired, and we did meet I did meet some friends out, and so I think I have photos of Ross. You saw the 100 series and
yes,
and Spencer's F-150, which is it's just a truck. So they actually went and camped Saturday night, and it was like 25 and a pretty decent north wind, which was kind of wicked there. And so I had my 11-year-old had a basketball game Saturday. So we had to leave from this, drive all the way back, get him changed in time to go to basketball. So,
is that a giant rock there?
It is.
I'm looking at. Okay.
It's called Teeter Rock, and I can drop you a pin later if you guys want to go take a drone out and make beautiful, beautiful shots. Because
it's interesting looking.
Yeah, for southeast Kansas, it's kind of like the only landmark down there, and it's man-made. Like, it's definitely like farm erected. Like,
it looks like sculpture. That's what I thought it was at first. There are like conflicting stories on what it represents. Like, some guy supposedly died in a snowstorm, and so they erected this rock so he would then know if he was close to the farm. And other people are like, "That's horseshit. Somebody just decided to put it up," and that's what it is. Like, there are ruins. Like, you drive through the ruins of the Teeterville town, which was like a collection of mining buildings. Southeast Kansas actually has more mining than people give it credit for, because you can go from here to Big Brutus, which, Ross, do you remember that massive crane? I do.
Yeah, that big orange crane that's in Southeast. And then that's more from, like, I don't know if strip mining's the right term or not, but like, you can literally see lakes cut in like canal shapes down there from all the mining they did.
So the rock definitely wasn't from some mining company that just wanted to dump it somewhere. Definitely not. No chance.
It's definitely like a guy who set it up, but the farmer, that one gets me. I gotta tickle my throat again.
Oh,
speaking of haunting dreams, that guy will be in your nightmares tonight.
Exactly. Like, his soul's trying to invade me right now. Get out of here, dude.
House spirits everywhere. Oh, God. What a weird way to
Thanks, Ross.
here. Yep. You're welcome.
So let's talk about Daniel's stuff, because his images are way more epic and more landscape themed.
Well, I appreciate that. It's a team effort.
So why don't you? Yeah, Chris, we're gonna say the same thing.
You do it.
Yeah, Daniel, why don't you give us your elevator pitch? Tell us your story, how you got here, what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I am Daniel. I run Blk Elk Media. We are a adventure and outdoor lifestyle content creation company. So it's kind of a funny story how we got to where we are, because my business partner and I, his name's Trent. We used to work for a outdoor clothing company that started in Northwest Arkansas, as the staff photographer and staff videographer. And basically, we didn't want to shoot clothes anymore. We wanted to shoot cool stuff all the time, right? So it's like, hey, let's start our own company. So when we started, it was kind of the path that a lot of people who get into cameras take. We were doing weddings, which I do not recommend.
No.
That is
very high stress job, right?
Yes, you got one shot at all of it.
One shot, man. But basically, over the years, we kind of morphed from just like two guys with cameras to building an actual like production crew. So now what we focus on is branded commercials and branded like mini docs. So we work with different brands on creating content just in the outdoor space, like I said. So this is actually our older website. Our new one is not up yet, which I wish it was, because that's where All of this stuff is from about 4 years ago. So,
Okay.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time on the road. We do about 100 days a year, doing off the grid productions, and that's all mixed in with like stuff that we do in various cities, and like urban environments for companies as well. So, it's just a lot of travel and a lot of getting kind of up close and personal with our crew. So there's 4 of us on our main crew, and we spend a lot of time in our transit van. So that's kind of the general gist of what we do. But you can see on the stuff that you were just showing, we shot quite a array of different things, but we really love and like to focus on outdoor and adventure lifestyle stuff. So
Yeah, I mean, there's a huge variety of stuff that came up on the screen just now, and obviously the listener didn't see it, but it was everything from motorcycles to there was a 911 in there, there was a rock crawler in there, cycling and hiking and whatnot. So I guess, I mean, obviously off road podcast here. How'd you get linked up with the Express Rally crew and you guys have chased their overland adventures? How did that come to be?
yeah, so it's funny. Like when we started the company, we didn't really have anything like most people, except our connections and friends and whatnot. So it was kind of a word of mouth thing where Scott, the founder of Express Rally, at the time he had I don't remember what year it was. I want to say it was a 2012 Shelby GT500, and we were actually just doing like some shots of his Shelby. For him, it was like a gig that came up on our calendar. We booked it and we showed up. We didn't know who he was, and Express Rally hadn't been started yet at the time. So we took some photos of it, and he said, "Hey, I'm starting this rally thing," and we were like, "Oh, okay, like are we talking like World Rally Championship? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And
Is
he's
it
like,
bull run like the way?
yeah, like are we doing like
GT500?
Finland? Yeah,
Yeah.
like are we jumping like hot hatches? What is this?
That would be fun.
And he was like, no, road rallies like Cannonball Run, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, I'm familiar with all that. So we went on our first one with him. Just kind of like it was kind of like as guests, just to take some photos and videos just for fun, right? And that was 8 years ago. And then he officially incorporated Express Rally, and we've been their media partner ever since. So we've done, they do probably, I want to say they do 5 to 7 rallies a year, and we shoot probably half of those. Usually it's the larger ones like Southern Express, Western Express, and then we do their overland events when they do them out west. So they do like Overland Death Valley, which is coming up in February of this year, Overland New Mexico, Overland Colorado. So yeah, it's been a long-term relationship, and it's been a really fruitful one too. Express Rally started in just Northwest Arkansas, but now its reach is all over the nation. So it's really cool to get to travel and kind of experience car culture everywhere, in all these different places. So yeah, that was Death Valley from last year.
Is that Scott's 80?
No,
no, that is not Scott's 80.
Yeah, because he had one that was pretty.
His 80 was awesome. Yeah. That is that's actually a guy out of Missouri, Ozark Overland Adventures or Outfitters, I think. Yeah, that's his name's Jason. He does a lot of awesome builds. But
is that the guy with the Gladiator?
No,
because there's another Ozark Overland or Adventure or something that's every YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. I don't remember his name, but I think he has a blue one, maybe.
Yep. Yeah. We've been talking about trying to get him on the show.
Yeah. So it's interesting though, because when Express Rally started, it was just road rallies. And then they started branching into this overland, with that industry booming, it was kind of like a no-brainer, but there couldn't be a more different pairing of two offerings in a company, because road rallies are like high octane, fast paced, there's a lot of questionable activities that happen on those.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly. The overland rallies, it's like just chill. You're camping. You're relaxing. Express Rally offers like a hibachi style chef out in the middle of the woods. So you get back from long days, hitting mountain passes, and you're eating like fried rice and just all the fixings. It's awesome. Yeah, it's great.
That's crazy. So
yeah, that's how we got linked up with them, though.
So, I mean, everybody in the off-road world at some point has taken out a video camera or their phone and tried to shoot some stuff and thought, I can probably put this together as a video, and it is usually pretty disastrous. So
mine are always bad.
Yeah,
I still do it, but
dude,
they're
I
not
made videos. I made videos like a lot in high school and into college, and I was like, this, I just don't have what it takes. So, I mean, the logistical chaos that goes into something like the Overland Rally, what does that entail? And I mean, I'm also kind of curious how it differs from the road stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the logistics is definitely half the battle. Because these are these events are so well planned, we get the route, sometimes 2 months, 3 months ahead of time. And then our team goes through and we identify areas that are going to be perfect for filming. Or problem areas. Yeah, like you're looking for areas that are photogenic, that are accessible, that you can like easily move around, right? You're looking for like any type of obstructions, or like if it's a road rally, you're concerned with like where you can and cannot fly the drone, things like that. But when we do the overland rallies, our main concern is the van and where we can and can't take it. So if we're able to take it on the particular route that's planned for that day, then we usually do. But more often than not, these are way more gnarly than what the van can handle. So that's where logistics become kind of just, you have to be very meticulous on the route that the van needs to take and the route that the participants are going to be taking. And then there's a lot of like planning, like, hey, we'll say goodbye to the van here and we'll see that guy in 4 hours. He has the route and he has the meeting time. So I hope we rendezvous where we need to, but that takes, we spend probably, I want to say 4 to 5 days just getting stuff planned out logistically over the course of a couple of months. For the road rallies, the van can go everywhere, but the van is not a supercar.
Yeah.
So,
it's
got
turbos.
There's a slight speed differential between that and
but it's very funny how it's kind of like, they say, slow and steady wins the race. There's been plenty of road rally events where at the end of the day, the participants show up and they get to wherever like the hotel accommodations are for the night. And they're like, wait, we left you guys this morning and you're here already. I don't understand what happened. And it's like, well, this is what happened. We didn't lollygag at gas stations. We also don't have like, those supercars have like 150 miles of range or something. So
right.
They're having to stop all the time for fuel. And we're just kind of, chugging along, little engine that could, doing our strategic stops to get shots from the side of the road, as well as shots from when they catch us. And we kind of do rolling shots and stuff. So, yeah, it was definitely a learning experience for sure. But I think I prefer the pacing of the overland rallies because you can do a lot of it on foot if you want to. Just because when we get to like obstacles or problem areas, like if they're hitting an obstacle, you have plenty of time to walk back and forth and get the angles that you want.
For a second try if they're hung up on something.
Yeah, exactly. On the road rallies, they're a lot like the weddings I talked about earlier.
Yeah.
You got one. Yeah, you have one chance, and if you miss it, then you have to drive another 150 miles to get your next shot. So
you got to leapfrog them in a gas station.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but you know what? We have to pee too. That's what they don't understand. So
yeah,
yeah, they're fun though.
One of the other things I kind of want to talk about on the topic of the chase vehicle, and this is something that comes up in like, I mean, if you've ever watched 4-wheel drive 24/7, you know, they'll occasionally mention the camera car like getting stuck and it becomes part of the scene or something. But I mean, for like your usage, there's like a miraculous methodology behind keeping the van out of shots, you know, and getting the subject in and like not having your own, you know, like making it about exactly what your job is.
Right.
You ever have any like logistical or problem areas where like, oh shit, the van's in here. Oh no.
Yeah. You know, definitely. There's always a shot. Well, like let me back up some. So when we're covering, like, let's say an overland rally, we'll have a team of 2 to 3 guys, sometimes 4, all with a different purpose. So there could be a drone in the air, then we have photographers, and then a team that's focusing on video, right? So inevitably we cross streams, right? There's going to be this camera looking this way. Yeah,
can't get all the angles out.
We cross streams often, and it's all just editing.
Yeah,
it's having to make sure that because we can put together can put together an awesome compilation of just shots of us going, oh shit, like there's Trent, he's looking at me, I'm looking at him.
How many hours of footage do you bring back after a normal rally?
That's a good question.
Gigs?
Gigs. I mean, that like most of these overland rallies are probably somewhere between 500 and 750 gigs.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and that's not including photography.
That's crazy.
So that's the drone and a cam and a B cam and a GoPro. I think that was our most recent. Yeah, Overland, Colorado. So that was this past.
That's Black Bear. September,
I believe. Was it September? Yeah,
man, September. Just 7 weeks ago. So
holy crap, that's so much. What's like a turnaround time between getting back, gathering yourself, and then like pumping out video?
Yeah, well, that's the con of being so vehicle based. There's always travel time in our jobs. Like exactly. You all were talking about, doing this event in April, and you're on the fence about that.
Yes.
That in and out time, right? Because that's a whole trip in itself. It's So we here's the thing: when we get in the van, usually the way these go is we're loading up at 3 or 4 in the morning. The whole crew is getting picked up here, locally in Northwest Arkansas, and then we actually have one of our 4th team members. He lives in Dallas, so when we head out west, we always pick him up in Oklahoma City. That's really of our like vehicle based jobs. When we're doing corporate stuff, like we're flying.
Yeah.
So everyone just meets at the airport, right, or the hotel bar.
Nice.
But we on the way out there, you have a lot of time over like a 2-day period or a day to gather your thoughts, right, and get excited. Then you go out there and you're in the elements for 3 to 4 or 5 days sometimes, and then that drive back, everyone's just quiet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Funny how that works, right?
Yeah. You're just in your head saying that was cool, that hurt, Yeah. But we do get to rest a lot in the van on the way home. Luckily for us, like we did a lot of expanding in the last 2 years, so we actually have editors now that are keeping the ball rolling while we're out on the road.
Nice.
So there's not that break in work,
you lose 2 days of
exactly time. So when we get back, there's usually a day of recovery, and then we kind of hit the ground running again. So but yeah, then you sit down with 750 gigs. The turnaround really just like if there's no distractions, like I could probably turn one of those around in like 2 weeks.
Okay.
With our
no distractions.
No distractions.
I haven't heard of this phrase before.
Yeah. No distractions means you live in a sensory deprivation chamber, which none of us do. So distractions everywhere.
Right.
But yeah, the us managing our schedule, at any given time we usually have about 10 open projects. So it's it could take a couple months to roll something out. We try to usually do like a month rollout for any of the rally stuff, but sometimes it's it could be 2 weeks or 2 months.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of footage to go through.
Serious.
Dude, that's the thing that always gets me is like I'll go shoot whatever and I get home and I'm like, all right, now I got to start stitching it together. And I'm like, I already looked at all this. I don't even want to look at it again.
Dude,
and every single time I think I got a good shot, it's never as good as I thought it was.
Well, I go to a car show or on an off-road trip. I take 150 pictures, or a press car. I take 200 pictures and I sit down. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to. Like, I know what it looks like.
Know. Well, you can always tell when we're culling our like content around the office, because like you got a guy just sitting there and you can just hear his keyboard just, and then you can hear him saving it. It's like save, next.
Yeah. So I feel that actually.
That's kind of the fun part too. You see stuff you didn't notice the first time. But I'm gonna knock the photo guys right now, because at least their images don't talk or have sound, right?
Right.
Yes.
Sometimes we have to listen to the same loop over and over again to where like I don't want to be around that person, even though I know they're an awesome person. It's like I cannot hear this guy's voice. I cannot hear that woman laugh right now for the next like 2 months.
That's amazing. Drive you insane, but that's amazing.
Yeah, actually,
dude,
go
your
back
kids
one picture.
Get older, that'll be a thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, that's my business partner's ZR2. It's the the 4-cylinder diesel. So yeah, it's awesome. When we can't get the van to a spot, we usually run that vehicle as a second on trips as kind of like our mule. But we are in the process of beginning to build it out to, like have the ability to charge our batteries when we just have it on certain projects, and get some like sleeping and thstorage arrangements on it and things like that. So
yeah, those are good trucks. They
I love that thing. Front
and rear lockers, the Multimatic, and they're good trucks. And that baby diesel, fucking awesome,
dude. It's great. So he did Black Bear for the first time 2 years ago. Did not plan on doing it. Like he told me before we went out to Colorado, he's like, I'm not going to take my truck up there. And I was like, okay, dude, no one's
no pressure
asking you to take your truck up there. We're going to ride with other people. It'll be fun. And then like the morning of, he's like, man, I really don't want to take my truck up there. And I was like, dude, no one said you need to take your truck up there. And then he just like kind of looked at us. He's like, should I take my truck up there? And we're like, dude, it sounds like you want.
He's talking himself into it.
Yeah,
it's like, it sounds like you want to take it up there.
It's like, I don't want to try that climb. I really don't want to try that climb. The person's going to do it anyways.
Yeah. So just to buff the ZR2 one more time, man, it absolutely destroyed Black Bear, no issues. And I think he has like oversized tires. That's it. Like he has he went up 1 inch in diameter. It was a breeze on Black Bear. So
did he keep the Duratrax or did he go to something else?
No, he's running the Wild Peaks.
Oh, the AT3s. Yeah.
Yep.
Those they're good tires. My brother's got them on his 4Runner.
Yeah, so, we actually have those on the van too.
Tell us about the van. We've been looking at pictures of this thing, and Chris mentioned that it's a Nissan NV200 2000.
Nope, that's Rogue Overland.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
they got homie. This is a Vandoit.
This is a
oh really?
This is a Vandoit.
2 and 2 are coming together here. All right,
this van did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
it's
done some things. So it's a 2020 Ford Transit 350 HD. So it's the tallest and the longest model available from Ford. It's the dually. It's all-wheel drive, and it has the twin turbo V6, the EcoBoost. So
nice.
Yeah.
So he's the reason I've done things in these vans, because I know theirs could do it.
Gotcha. So that's also how you keep up with the cars on the long trips, because that's a good engine.
And then somebody told me like they got way better suspension than everything else.
Oh,
hold up, what?
Yeah, we have some parts on there right now that are awesome. But no, so basically we've been working hand in hand with Vandoit on just kind of testing different components that we've wanted to see what they could do. Like Black Elk, it's like, hey, it would be awesome if our van could do this, or if it felt this way when we went over these types of things. And they're so good at taking feedback and trying new things. But it's all methodical. The current setup that we have right now is amazing. Like, I wish that y'all could drive a stock Transit compared to ours.
Mhm.
Even with the lift, like it takes, like, its road holding is much better. There's like hardly any roll, and off road.
How much lift?
So it's a 2-inch like spacer lift on the front.
Is it the Q lift?
Yeah, it's the Q lift. So we have the Quigley Q lift. So
Nice.
2-inch on the front and on the rear. And then we have our tires. We gained about an inch with the upsizing the tires. And then we actually have an extra set of rear leaf springs.
Yep.
So we gained a little bit more departure angle on the rear. I think our rear is about 4 to 4.5 inches higher now than a stock
and load
Transit.
capacity with an extra leaf.
Do what?
You get extra load capacity if you throw.
We got rid of the saggy butt too. So
so how tall is this thing? What's the actual height?
I think it's 10.6. I think the last time I measured it. So it's not as high as people think. Like, people walk up to it, like, dude, that's 15 feet, and I'm like, no, that's
it's
not.
not.
It's it's the relativity factor, because like the Suburban is probably what, like 6'6", maybe 6'8".
I'm taller than the Suburban.
You're taller than the Suburban? Okay, so
yeah.
I'm off base. I mean, I'm shorter than the Lexus by a lot, but I'm also shorter than you by a bunch.
You're normal size.
I am. So how much does this thing weigh?
So it's funny you asked that. We've had all this speculation for about a year and a half, and I remember my initial guess a long time ago. I was super wrong. I was like, man, that thing's 12,000 pounds. I'm calling it right now. It's 12,000 pounds. So earlier you were showing some shots of us doing No Fear Pass with the van.
Yeah.
After that trip, I downloaded the Catscales app, which a buddy of mine told me to do that like a long time ago. I just never listened to him. I said, no, we're going to wait on this trip. We're going to do it. So we pulled into like a gas station somewhere off of Interstate 40, and I think our weight with our gear, and let's see, our gear and three people, we were at like 9,600 pounds.
Oh, that's not too bad.
That seems reasonable.
Dude, Land Cruisers, a loaded out 200 is like 9,000 pounds.
Right. And so that's then the wheels started going in my head, because I was like, man, it's not actually as heavy as we thought it was.
We can put so much more stuff on it.
Yeah. I think it has a lot to do with the factory seating. Like Vandoit does the passenger vans, right? So if you look up its curb weight online, it's more than that, I'm pretty sure. Because I think those seats just weigh a ton. Right?
Dude,
seats are heavy.
Coming from someone who's moved seats in and out of those vans, yes, the 3-person bench is 2 people to carry. Yeah, it's miserable.
It's heavy. So if you take all of that out, and then Vandoit does the internal caging, like, I mean, you're losing weight at that point. So, with no one in it, it's under 9,000 pounds. It's like 8,900.
That's
great. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's
per
great.
the Washington County dump site. Had to throw away some office chairs, so I got another scale
nice.
Weigh in. So
that's funny.
But yeah, I did want to touch on the weakest point on our van is just the rear overhang. There's like 3.5 feet back there. But when we did Ophir right here with the new suspension, so the Q lift paired with Bilstein front coilovers and rear shocks, we had no rub whatsoever on the rear at the hairiest part of that trail. So,
dude, that's awesome.
That's pretty cool. You should get a hitch skid that just goes all the way underneath.
Yeah, I've looked at the rear so many times. Like, man, if we could just like notch it, like just 3 feet of it gone right there, be awesome.
Right. And then it would start to look like an Earth Roamer or something.
Yeah, or like a rally raid truck, which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
Dakar's going right now. We can talk about
Dude,
that.
I was going to say one of those huge man trucks. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah,
how did you get to the van? I mean, what do you have like an automotive background in of yourself? Like, what led you to actually like building up something like this for your own business?
yeah. So, we're all gearheads at Blk Elk. I've loved cars ever since. I don't even know, as long as I can remember. I didn't really get into wheeling until I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and we had just been shooting so much outdoor content, and I looked at Trent. This is normally how most of our vehicle company car decisions go. I look at Trent and I say, hey, here's the listing for this 2010 4Runner Trail, and we should go up there right now. And he's like, and do what? And I'm like, and buy it. Like,
Was that the white one?
Yeah.
It was a silver one.
Okay.
So that was our first company vehicle, was a 2010 4Runner Trail, which
Good choice.
yeah, it was, man, awesome.
Did it have the party mode button for the?
Yeah, it did. It had party mode and the KDSS. I think that's what it's called.
Yep.
Um,
Rear locker. Yeah, trails are good.
Yeah.
Those things are hard to find.
It was so capable, and I think we bought it for like, I want to say it was like 17 when we got it.
What?
They're still 17 for.
Here's the thing though, it had been in 2 wrecks.
Oh,
one that was one that was bad enough to do something to the steering column, but it was rebuilt and ready to go, and it didn't have any issues. Yeah, that right there.
That is, in my opinion, the best looking 4Runner ever made.
I love that front end on that year model, and that car was just awesome. So we bought it because we were using all of our Subarus to do these jobs, and things were starting to get a little hairy for those those flat 4s and those weak transmissions. So
made of glass.
Yeah. So we ended up building that out to kind of accommodate us on things. And then I actually I met some Vandoit people at a mountain biking race up here in Northwest Arkansas. So for the listeners, Northwest Arkansas, mountain biking capital of the world. I don't know if it's officially that, but it is.
It has to be.
That's okay. Connecticut's the pizza capital of the world, so we got that.
Sure. Yeah, I think we have like 500 miles of single track mountain biking trails now, but it just keeps on growing.
Yeah, it legitimately is, Russ.
Wow, it's awesome.
I had absolutely no idea, and I've done a fair share of mountain biking.
Yeah, like if you want to pull this up while I'm talking right now, look up Kohler Mountain Biking Preserve, and just see if you can find any pictures of Kohler Mountain Biking Preserve are awesome. But anyway, they had a booth, and I walked over and I was like, these are sweet. And then they were like, yeah, we're in Missouri. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And actually in the middle of 2020, like right in the middle of the pandemic, we ordered a van. I went off of a gut feeling. I was like, when we get on the other side of this thing, we need to be ready to hit the ground running. And coincidentally, we got the van, and we started taking projects like social distance projects out in the middle of the woods. Just kept our business alive, and then we ended up coming out on top. So it's been great. But that's how we got linked up with the vans. I've always liked adventure vans, but I don't know. They were colors.
This is the tamest picture I found. The tamest.
Yeah. That's too much for me.
Yeah,
that guy's got way more suspension on his bike than I do.
That guy's got more suspension.
I got front forks. That's it.
More suspension on his bike than I have on my truck.
Yeah.
There's
mountain bikes up here that are as much as motorcycles. Like we have
there's
some crazy.
Cannondale's sub headquarters is the next town over from me. So
really? Okay.
Seen some things.
And there's a lot of bridge work, but I can't find a big image of it yet. So
search the hub Kohler.
The hub.
Yeah, okay. The hub. Wait till you see this thing. This thing is ridiculous. So the hub or Kohler was actually designed with the help of an architecture firm, which like when you say, oh, we build mountain biking trails, you think like guys with shovels and backhoes and things, right?
Yep.
But like they brought in an architecture firm to do all of the structures, like the permanent structures. So
Crazy.
Dude,
Yeah,
it's
it's
like metal
pretty
work.
close.
Like it's intense.
Yeah, that's
Whoa.
that launches you into about 5 or 6 different trails.
That looks like such a good time and such a fun way to get so hurt.
Well, so
That's what mountain
Dan-
biking is.
Daniel, you met Jeff Glucker, who
Mhm.
we work with at
Oh,
Hooniverse.
really?
And so
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
because Daniel was there for the Ozark rally, and so like
Oh, yeah.
Jeff's biggest frustration was he didn't have his bike down there.
I know. We talked about it. I told him that's why he has to come back.
Hey,
That's
Jeff,
funny.
I got a room nearby. I'm sure Daniel could put
Yeah.
you for a night. Like,
Hey, he can sleep in the van, you know.
yeah, get the Montero out here.
Jeff's not listening, but hi, Jeff. Also,
You say
That's
that
a-
each time,
I know.
and then he always texts me and is like, "Well, Ross, shut up." Like,
does he actually? No, really?
sometimes
Wait,
he
you
does. Sometimes he does.
Oh, well, this is the first I'm hearing of it, so
Yeah.
yeah,
It wasn't important. We're forgetting.
unimportant. Anyways, Daniel, so I know we're brushing up on our time here. So 2 other questions we got for you before we
Yeah.
call it. So what do you guys shoot with? And
Okay.
then give us some highlights, some high-level highlights of your favorite trips you've been on-road, off-road, and then
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I can
stuff
keep it
that's
brief.
not even automotive.
Yeah. So we've always been Panasonic guys, but we in the last year have made a big switch to Sony. For no particular reason. Like I think everything is so like on par now.
Everything's so good.
It's all
But
so
I just listened to Logan, our director of photography. He
Okay.
said we got to do this. I said, cool, let's do it.
Is
Um,
Sony what Larry Chen uses?
Nope, he's Canon.
Yeah, he's
Canon.
Canon. Which we
He's
actually let me back up. We do all of our video on
Right.
Sony. We shoot with he uses a Canon R3 amongst other cameras, but we also shoot with an R3 for our photography, which that's like the
Okay.
cheap camera for shooting cars.
Is that the mirrorless one?
I think it's mirrorless.
That's the one word I remember from.
Yeah.
He was on our show.
All I know is since I focus primarily on video, all I know is that camera tracks your eyeball and it can tell if you're looking at an open wheel race car, a motorcycle, or a closed roof race car.
It's like
it can-
AI in a camera.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
I
But anyway,
that.
yeah, I know. So that's what we shoot with. And then
Okay.
as far as highlights, we, like I said, we started doing a lot of road traveling in 2019 and on with the van. That's brought us coast to coast. In 2021, I think we had 7 projects in Colorado that year. So a lot of back and forth to Colorado, California, Utah, New Mexico. But my favorite trip we've ever done was way before the van. It was in the early days of Blk Elk. I want to say that we didn't even have enough money to get my Outback out of the SeaTac airport parking lot.
Oh no!
This was like year 2 of Blk Elk, which we're in like year 8. So the growth is definitely there.
A couple of
But
ways.
we drove to Seattle, 3-day trip, Rockies, Tetons, and then Seattle. Then hopped on a flight to Anchorage, and then from Anchorage flew to a place called Iliamna, which is like an hour-and-a-half flight on a puddle jumper.
How do you spell that?
So Iliamna, it's type in Rainbow King Lodge, Alaska, and it'll pull it up.
Okay.
I think
There's
I
so
found.
many-
We're Google Maps fanatics here.
Yeah.
I think I found images. I dug
Yeah.
deep.
Yeah, if you dig deep enough. Yeah, that's it right there.
Oh,
So
that's pretty.
we were shooting a joint project for a fishing lodge and a clothing company. So we were shooting their like spring winter line that was spring summer line that was dropping, and content for the lodge. So it was 7 days in Alaska, and it just put so much perspective on so many things for me.
That's awesome.
Because when they drop you off out there and the plane flies away, and there's nothing. Like you can't walk in. There's no roads. Like you just, oh, hey, wedding stuff.
We're back to wedding stuff.
We've come a long way, huh?
Yeah, thanks
you
for
go.
showing me that. I'm going to delete that. Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty
this
cool.
is Alaska right here. There's no, what you're looking at. There's, as far as you can see, there's no power lines. There's no. I mean, it's just remote. It's as remote as you can get, really. So,
isn't that the best?
That's so
it was
great
awesome.
because the line I use with the kids all the time when we just start to tour stuff like this, I was like, urgent care is not around the corner. Like, let's be thinking about what we're doing here. Like,
yeah.
That's definitely in Alaska. Yeah, but that was a highlight for sure. I still dream about that trip all the time. So
gonna go back?
Yeah, hopefully. One day for sure. I'd love to. That was when the salmon were spawning too. So there was like, I think they said there was like 7 million or 7 billion. I don't know. It was some 7 billion amount of salmon. Right?
Lots of salmon.
Yeah, there's the OG Outback right there that took us up there. So. Always wearing method race wheels on our vehicles too. We love those guys. So
they look good and they work well.
Yeah.
Cool. Like you're the only Vandoit who doesn't have the same wheel that everyone else has. You guys have methods. It's like as the parking lot one day, I was like, hold up, wait, how do we get methods? Like how do?
Yeah.
That's not. I don't have an option for that.
Yeah, we pulled some strings, but
yeah, it's worth it.
It's like Porsche's special wishes department.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sharing one last photo just because.
Yeah, do it.
It's so good. Like the scene. First of all, you get all the detail of the cockpit. Like all of it's perfect.
Yeah, that's Trent's eye right there. That's why he does photo. I do the video stuff. He's a phenomenal photographer, and that sums up Alaska. That's how they get around.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Was this a float plane or just a bush plane?
This was a float plane.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
It's so crazy. Like seeing that stuff. I've seen more videos and pictures of Alaska and that kind of adventuring, you know, whether it's like Long Way Round or the Expedition Overland guy, you know, Ed March was up there at one point, and it's all every time I see them, like, holy shit, this is technically our country.
That's like, what we kept on saying. We're like, we're in the United States, and it was funny when we landed. We were like, some guys that were at a bar there. You know, they were like, "Where are you guys from?" We're like, "Oh, you know, we're from Lower 48." And they were like, "How's it going down there?" And we started saying, "Oh, you know," and they're like, "We don't give a shit."
We're gonna do what we want up here anyway.
Yeah, so. They're just like, "Yeah, cool." They're like, "We're just we're pulling some strings." Like, yeah, we didn't care. Funny. We were just getting a laugh out of you. So,
oh man. That's good.
Dude, that's fantastic.
Alaska was awesome, so I highly recommend it.
Noted.
That's my favorite thing to do on Google Maps is to zoom out enough so you can see all of Alaska and how big it is compared to the lower 48.
It's huge. Yep.
So good.
Crazy.
Well, sweet. I'll wrap up the show real fast. Daniel, thank you so much. You can
thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. See, I step on people every single episode. I got to figure this out. After 147 episodes, you think I'd get it figured out. It's all me. You can rate and review the show wherever you listen to podcasts. We are still on YouTube. You can like and subscribe. For Daniel, it's at Blk Elk Media, and it's just BLK Elk Media. That's Instagram, Twitter.
No Twitter, but YouTube. Yeah, it's
definitely
out there.
YouTube.
We don't use it.
Yeah. Good. We could just have a conversation there. I feel like that's what everyone's now switching over to Instagram to do anyway. Yeah. Like a lot of my people I talk to only through Twitter, I now talk to only through Instagram messages. So yeah, that works. You can follow Hooniverse, the Hooniverse on Twitter, the real Hooniverse on Instagram. Ross is not like the one from Friends. I'm at Overlanding Dad. That's it. We've done a show. Thank you, Daniel.
Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you. Yep, I appreciate you all having us, and I hope to meet you all in person someday. So
definitely,
we'll come down a mountain bike. That's not that far away.
Yeah,
you'll come
bring
down.
your pads. Bring your pads.
Yeah, I already had back surgery. I'm not getting on a bike.
Hey, you can take photos.
I'll give you sold.
I'll give you the AI camera.
Yeah, I'll drive the van.
I'll drive the van, dude. It's actually easier than you expect it to be. As big as it is, it's pretty easy.
Yeah,
it is.
Gonna leave that one alone.